The class of 2025 is ramping up, and Nebraska just made headlines by being projected to land a talented four-star running back out of St. Louis, Missouri. So in today's video, I'm going to break down who this running back is, what he brings to the table, and inevitably, will he be a Cornhusker when it's all said and done? So before we get into talking about this prospect, if you like the content, please hit the like button on this video. It's completely free and it helps me out, along with subscribing to the channel if you don't want to miss out on the best Nebraska football and Nebraska recruiting content on YouTube. We're making videos almost every single day talking about spring practice updates, recruiting updates, and everything else in between. So if you're a Husker fan, please hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it talking about this running back prospect. He goes by the name of Jamarion Parker, and man, oh man, there's been a lot of hype around his name the last couple days. If you're not familiar with him at all, listen, that 6 foot tall, 190, a four-star according to every single recruiting site, a kid out of Missouri, and he was actually a recent decommit from the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was committed there for a couple months, even when he took a couple visits to Nebraska, and there's a big reason why when he did in fact decommit, everybody pointed their fingers over Nebraska and said that's a team to watch out for when it comes to landing his talent. So let's just dive right into it. He's a kid that comes out of Missouri, and that's something that Matt Rhule has been noted to be going after very hard. Not only the St. Louis area, but of course Kansas City. There's a lot of talented players that come out of Missouri, come out of these big cities, and Matt Rhule's really trying to build a foothold and a pipeline within that Missouri state. When you look at Jamarion Parker, of course, he's a four-star, offers all over the country. Why would he pick Nebraska? It really comes down to the coaching staff and the facility, something that he mentioned is a really good thing about Nebraska going forward. He feels great about Matt Rhule and his offensive staff, so much so that he scheduled an official visit to Lincoln this summer. And again, feeling really good about landing him. It's projected right now by 24/7 and On3 that he will be a Nebraska Cornhusker and will commit sometime soon. So let's just dive into Jamarion Parker, what he actually brings to the table as a running back. In his junior year, he had 1,200 yards, averaging 12 yards a carry. Also had 13 total touchdowns. He led his team to a state title. And one of the more underrated parts of his game is that he is super experienced in the pass pro. He not only does he play running back, but he plays wide receiver. So he has those hands that Matt Rhule looks for, and he's also experienced in the blocking game. Matt Rhule looks for guys who not only play running back, but can play a multitude of positions, offense, defense. That's something that we love from our recruits, so he checks all the boxes in that department. Another box that he checks is the fact that he plays multiple sports. This is something I speak about at length. So that's very important to this coaching staff, that not only are you skilled in football, but you can play and have success in other dynamics. So he plays baseball. He also plays track. And we talk about him as a running back. What is he actually? Is he a brawler? Is he a speedster? He does a little bit of everything. He's the full package, is what one scout said. He has great speed, great vision, but he can also lower a shoulder and truck a couple guys. When we talk about his speed, he had a 11-second 100 meters, which is his personal best, which if you're not familiar with track, that is a great time. And again, just to have that track experience shows you that he's a speedster. But besides his speed, he's built for the Big Ten. He's a bigger back. He has muscle on him. He's a good size. He has good frame. He's not one of those running backs that's small, that's frail, that's maybe a third down running back. He's one of those bell cow running backs that you can feel good about having 20, 25, 30 carries a game. And that's something that Matt Rhule has been looking for over the last year with Nebraska. So I know that's going to get a lot of people fired up about Jamarion Parker, the fact that, again, he can be a guy who does have 1,000+ yards for Nebraska within his first couple of years. Now, Nebraska's had a little bit of a struggle the last couple of years trying to get quality running backs within the program. We obviously saw in the 2024 class, we had Quan Lacey, who was the four-star, and he actually decommitted because Nebraska didn't offer him enough NIL money, and he went over to Mizzou. We saw that we had a four-star the class before, A.J. Allen. He spent 1 year here, went over to Miami. So we've actually had some four-stars, but we haven't retained them. And right now, if you look at the current running back room, as I've talked about before, there's a lot of dudes. There's not a lot of studs, not a guy that's really going to blow you away, or not a guy who's proven. A lot of these guys are just coming off of years where they have 300, 400 yards, but there's not a running back that Nebraska has that is proven to be high productive, right? To have that game-changing ability. So this is what Jamarion Parker could bring to the table. I project him to instantly be a contributor if and when he lands with Nebraska. When we're talking about the fall of 2025, he's instantly going to be in the mix for that running back one job. That's how good of a prospect he is. That's really how he's built for the Big Ten. It's not going to take long for him to really hit the ground running and be a productive running back for Nebraska. So that's why I'm really, really pumped up about him. But also, it's the fact that we're establishing a precedent with four-star running backs. Once you land four-star running backs, you continue to land them every single year. That's something you want. That's one of those positions where you need to get high-end players. You know, a lot of times, when you're talking about the five-star running backs, they might not be the most productive players in the world, but those are the most athletically gifted. That's why they're the most sought after, right? 4 stars, same way. So it's fine to get a 3-star running back like we have in the past, but lots of times they don't have that high ceiling, and that can be attested to when we look at our current running back room. This guy, Jamarion Parker, has a high ceiling. We're talking about if everything works out his development, he's a clear NFL guy. Day 2, day 1 type NFL draft pick. That's how good he could potentially be. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, obviously. He still has 3, 4 years, 5 years until he even gets there. But that's how good of a ceiling he is. That's how good of a recruit he is. And you should be fired up about this if you're a Nebraska fan because he could be a big deal for the Cornhuskers going forward. So Jamarion Parker currently projected to commit to Nebraska over the next couple months. A guy to keep your eye on as this recruiting process unfolds. And man, oh man, this 2025 class for Nebraska is looking very good, very promising. And they're trying to build a real core over Dylan Raiola in this offense for a long time. So again, let me know what you think about Jamarion Parker down below. Are you excited about this potential addition? Do you think he'll commit? And some other prospects you might be interested in as well. So make sure to let me know that down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I just want to plug real quick my Twitter and Instagram at Wilson Dittman. I talk about Nebraska football all the time on those socials. So if you want to connect on there, please follow me as well. But as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.